We are live. Thank you guys for tuning in. Today I'm interviewing Silver Heist. Welcome to Patriotic's interviews, Silver Heist. Thank you for coming in, man. And happy Super Bowl Sunday to everybody.
Thank you, Patrioticastacker, for inviting me to this pregame special. I'm excited.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it for you coming in, dude. It means a lot.
Yeah, awesome.
So starting off, what made you start stacking gold and silver?
Well, I had coins when I was a kid, like 6, 7, 8, 12 years old. And so my grandmother, one of my grandmothers gave me a peace dollar. And then my other grandmother gave me like a Indian head penny and a flying eagle penny and maybe something else, like a V nickel or something. So I've always been a coin collector, but it was low budget coin collecting. It was always gifts or just going through my mom's mason jar looking for Wheaties that I could put in those blue books, the Whitman folder type things.
Yep.
So I had been a collector, but I had put that aside, but I always held on to them. So luckily, that shoebox of coins followed me for decades. And so I have every coin I ever had as a kid. And so somewhere along the way, recently, I just decided that maybe a combination that I couldn't get any interest income from a bank. And then just also a little bit of a self-sufficiency kind of thing that I thought it would be a good idea to just have my own money that would be independent of other systems. So then I started looking for silver. So probably I've sort of lost track. I don't know if it was New Year's Eve 2017 or 2018, somewhere in that range. I started stacking, give or take a year.
Wow. And the reason for your stacking, are you a prepper? Are you stacking for savings?
I think kind of a combination. For savings, for prepping in a certain way, maybe not spending my dimes type of way, but kind of covering your bases. Just having some things outside of the electronic banking world. So
absolutely.
So yeah. So I think prepared in different ways. I think there's a whole gamut of preparation. So I'm on the spectrum. So
absolutely. Now, where do you are you more of an online buyer, LCS?
I've become that. When I first got started, I wanted to keep it simple, and so I went with what I was comfortable with until I learned more. So I started with Kennedy $50 and stuff like that, constitutional silver. So I think I had a couple of connections. There was a local coins show that I went to, where I would buy a $10 or $20 face of coins every so often, and then from there, I think I started watching YouTube and saw that I could coin roll hunt and find some. So that was a fun project to do for a long time. So I did that weekly for a long time. I think probably until the COVID thing kind of just closed my bank's lobby to any visitors, so that kind of screwed things up the last couple of years. So I haven't gone through rolls of $50 in probably 2 calendar years, probably since January 2020. But it was fun to, get a little bit of silver each week. There's some weeks where you get skunked, but there was also the possibility of getting some. So that always seemed like just slow and steady progress. So that was a fun way of getting silver. So it's and it kind of, I think unfortunately I have too many just shiny non-silver coins that I thought, I should save these from going back to the bank. So I have more $50 than I should. So have you ever hunted for coins?
Now, I used to do it. You know,
Yeah.
when I started stacking about when I was 18 years old. So getting close to 9 years.
Wow.
And you know, when I was younger, didn't have much funds. You know, I started working, didn't have much. So my friend turned me on to gold and silver.
Great.
And he told me about you know, $half-dollar hunting and dimes and quarters.
Right.
And it was a fun thing to do. And I would go to the bank and I would start off small. You know, I would get anything off their trays. You know, maybe $100 and $half-dollars.
Right.
Then eventually, I was able to buy $500 box of $half-dollars, and I would search, and there was times I found quite a bit of silver.
Yeah.
But I stopped doing that years ago because it was pretty much averaging every 10 boxes, there was the one box that actually you found silver, and it was maybe a couple 40%ers. It's
So it
fun
just
and all, but
seems,
it takes up a lot of time.
No, it does. And so, I mean, I had a routine of hunting it and then taking them to the bank, having them count them, have the machine count them, and then taking that cash and going to my other bank who had the box waiting for me on order. So it was like a whole morning of
Absolutely.
of hunting, bringing them to a machine and going to the other bank. And, you know, because I needed the 500 to get the next 500. So it's like, you can't let the boxes stack up on you.
Yeah. And not only that, it came to a point, I was returning the boxes to the bank and they were getting a little aggravated. And you know what I mean? You get a box and you search it and then you order a new one.
Right.
So,
yeah. Well,
some banks don't even take them.
I had a dump bank. So I had a bank that had a machine that I would dump to, but then I'd go to a different bank company to get my orders. So I wouldn't dump where I purchased. If you know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying.
That's what I started doing.
Yeah.
I started doing that, but the banks were getting more stricter. They wouldn't take it unless you were a customer.
Right.
You had to open an account.
Sure.
Or in order to order them,
Right.
you had to either be an account or.
Yeah.
And it just became, a hassle to me. But it is
Sure.
absolutely fun.
Yeah.
It is very fun, and it's good to do once in a while. I've been getting into the dimes once in a while. I go get the dimes because it seems like everyone's searching the $half-dollars and no one really searches dimes, and you can find some silver dimes.
That's great. I kind of just did halves and pennies because of my coin collector bug,
Absolutely.
So I mean, I'm too cheap to start a real coin collection. So I figure, and if I could like fill up a penny book with some like Wheaties, that might be cool. But I haven't done that in a couple of years either. So I kind of hit a kind of a brick wall on Wheaties. But I have a really nice $half-dollar book that I actually need to sort and put the best of the best in a $half-dollar book because I probably have everything I need.
Absolutely.
A couple of years of coin roll hunting, I probably have. Though the proofs are hard to find, but I have I have all the silver, but I also have like really nice examples of the 70s and 80s and stuff, so I could fill a nice book. So
absolutely, and you know what I noticed too. The banks, well, that's what they're saying, that there's a coin shortage.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get boxes of coins.
No, that's been true also because they need those for like Dunkin' Donuts and McDonald's, and Walmart.
Yep.
So they don't want to let a box of nickels go out the door when like Dunkin' Donuts needs nickels. So
speaking of Wheaties, I have a bunch of, I'm not into pennies. I don't like pennies. I have a bunch of Wheaties just sitting in my change jar.
Yeah.
I'll go through them and I'll send them to you, man. I just want to get rid of them.
Well, you don't have to do that, but,
so you can finish your book there.
Well,
I have a
long way to go, So
hey,
you hunt and you get the 40s and the 50s, and occasionally you get something from the 30s, and the teens and 20s were few and far between. But I did get some coins. I mean, heck, I got like a 19 15 from like my local grocery store one day. It's like,
Oh
well, that
wow.
was interesting, so it's like, you never know. So I still look. I'm cheap enough to
Oh
look.
yeah, absolutely.
I'll flip over a coin and see what it is.
All the time. I love getting change, when I, go to the store and I'll, if it's say $1.05, instead of
Yeah.
handing them 5 cents, I say, just give me the change because, I look through it. Sometimes you can get some silver. Sometimes you can get a key date penny or something. There's
I got a
a lot
really
of people don't
valuable
know.
coin. I got a really valuable coin for my equivalent of a coin star at my bank. So I'm dumping $50, and before I dump them, I see what's in the reject jar, and I found this fancy. It's not even Canada. It's before Canada. I forget if it was New Brunswick, but it's like a
Oh, really?
province before it was Canada. It's so old. It's like from the 1860s, and I
Oh,
think it's a
wow.
silver half dime. So it might be like a half a dime. So it's smaller than a dime. It might be worth a couple $100, at least 100.
Yeah, I
So
would definitely bring that in to check it out.
yeah, no, people have told me it's valuable, and it's in decent condition. Very fine. I don't know how to grade coins, but to me, there's a lot of detail in the coin. So yeah, so
Absolutely.
you never know what you can find. So that's the
Oh,
thing.
no.
It's a treasure hunt.
And that's what makes it fun.
Yeah, I think the
And I
thrill
know,
of the hunt is cool. I mean, it's no good anymore, but like when I first got started, I thought it would be fun to, go on Craigslist and see what the heck I could find. And I found a few things, people selling constitutional silver. Um, but that's so few and far between. I can't find listings. And if I did, they might disappear in a day, you have to act fast. If there's even listing, I haven't even bothered looking any lately. So,
absolutely. Craigslist, I always check them out. Craigslist,
uh-huh.
these marketplace on Facebook, just to
Right.
see if you can find any deals, especially
Right.
yard sales. You used to do good with yard sales. I remember going, and the people have buckets full of coins, old
Really?
coins and
That'd be cool.
silver and stuff, and you get them for a good price. But it's hard now. The minute you know the day and age of the internet, people know everything. So,
Yeah.
they see something that think is valuable, they look it up and they find
Yep.
out.
Right. Yeah, it's funny though. I did find a nice sterling silver platter once at a big yard sale. It was sort of like one of these big community yard sales where like I'm not sure if it was a charity or something or a church but it's like the whole town came together to so there's dozens of tables, but there was like a quote a better table or something, and it's like, well, yeah, this is a better table because there's like a silver platter for $1. So I'll take the sterling, and it wasn't plate; it was like real sterling. So yeah,
Absolutely.
that was crazy. That's the only find. I go to Savers. I'd never find anything at Savers. This sort of like Salvation Army.
Okay, yeah. No, I go to Goodwill sometimes or Salvation just to look. You never
Yeah,
know.
I find silver
It's
plate. It's so confusing. Sterling's so confusing. There's so much silver plate, but that's like it looks nice, but it's not really valuable. And sterling.
absolutely.
My wife actually found the only sterling we found at the charity store. Um, she found like a hot plate or something that was sterling. And here I am looking at all these like bowls and things, and everything's plate, and she walks out with something. So I think we found sterling twice. Super hard.
Yeah. No. Oh yeah, absolutely. But like you said, most of it is all plated.
Yeah.
Especially your silverware, your regular forks and spoons. A lot of it, people will find it, be like, oh, it's silver, it's tarnished, and they go
Right.
there, and it's literally just a little layer of silver, and then there's
Right.
usually a rod inside, and
Yeah.
it's pretty much worthless. But it's hard to find good silverware, but it's crazy when you think of it. Back in the day, we used gold and silver for money and
Uh-huh.
ate off of silver.
That's pretty good. Good
Yeah,
times.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Not
So
today.
no.
But I do, like you said, with the coin stars, I do check them out, and sometimes you can find some cool things in the reject slot there. I found a couple Mercury dimes. I found some $50. I don't know
Great.
how people miss them, but I found them.
Well, I think they're in such a rush to just dump their stuff, or they think it's so grimy they don't want to touch it. It's like so they just walk away from the reject tray. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
they just don't bother looking. But so yeah, it's worth a look. I think that's the only thing I've ever found in a reject jar. So, but
Absolutely.
they're there.
I'll be
They're there
gladly
for
to
the
touch
taking.
your grimy coins.
I know. It's like, oh, it's funny. Yeah, penny hunting is a grimy business, I tell you. So,
Oh yeah. Well, you know, you think
pennies
of it,
are
they're like
old and coppery and dirty.
absolutely.
But
You know,
and half
when you
dollars
think of it,
too. They
yeah, no,
but the
half dollars,
pennies are
yeah.
awful. Pennies are awful.
Oh yeah.
But I did
Well,
it
they're
anyways.
circulated more.
Oh
They're
yeah.
definitely circulated more. They're you know, you could still find pennies commonly from the 40s and 50s and 60s. But you know, when you look at your nickels, dimes, and quarters, you know, you really don't see many 60s. It's all, you know, 80s and up.
Right.
You know,
I
so
don't know. I don't
pennies are
know
definitely
who's.
circulated.
Yeah, I don't know who's filtered out the good stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're still out there. Like, I don't think like whoever the banks are that they like sift and sort and separate them. You know what I mean? So I think they just go around and around. I mean,
I
there's a
heard the
dude out in the West Coast who has a warehouse full of pennies. It's like
oh wow.
if you want to buy a 5-gallon bucket and have him keep it in his vault, you can buy a 5-gallon bucket or a whole pallet full of pennies. You know what I mean? So that's like his
Wow.
business. So there's people who like hoard them. I mean, there's big shots on Wall Street who have $1 million worth of pennies in a
Oh, I'm
warehouse
sure.
someplace. So they know
I'm
they're worth
sure.
more than a nickel. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The old ones.
absolutely. Well, look at it
So
this way. What do they say? Uh, when they stopped making pennies in copper, 82, 81?
right around there, yeah.
So you got to
And
think of it. Each copper penny is worth 2 cents.
or more. I'm not even
Yeah, or
sure. I
more.
haven't looked at it lately. It could be up to 3 pennies for a
But like
penny
the
for the
copper
good
value,
ones. Right,
yeah,
yeah. It's
just
at
like the
least
regular
2, if not
copper
3.
value,
Yeah.
yeah, 2 or 3 cents. And you know, people, you know, they're going to start melting it down in the blocks and go to their scrapyard.
Well, I know. I'm not sure. Might be illegal, but
It is illegal. It
but
is illegal.
but it's out there. I mean, Canada got rid of their penny. They stopped making them, but they didn't. I don't know what happens if you buy something for 97 cents in Canada. If they give you a nickel, if they don't give you anything back. I think if you wanted to pay the cashier 97 cents, you could whip out, some change and a couple of pennies and they'll take them. But I don't think they're obligated to give them back to people. And you can't get them back and
Wow.
forth from the bank. So they somehow ditched their penny. But I think Canadians use like electronic money more than we do.
Yeah.
Shockingly, we're not the most stubborn, but Americans use a lot more cash than other countries. So,
absolutely. So what do you think about electronic money, digital currency?
Not the super futuristic electronic money. Not a fan of.
I guess your crypto and this
Yeah,
electronic digital dollar that the government's trying to introduce.
yeah. I'm not sure I really like it because I understand that it could come with rules. It's basically, I don't know. You can just program it you can use it. You can use it for food at the grocery store, but you can't use it for something else. You can't use it to whatever. Buy a lawnmower at Home Depot, like stupid reason, whatever they want to program, whatever they say, well, that's not what this money is for. This money is for food. So you're not allowed to buy a hammer with it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Oh, you can't buy lumber. Lumber is too important right now. You can't buy it.
Yeah.
So you can't use our money on lumber. So I just don't like the potential that someone could program my money for what they think is appropriate for me to buy at this moment.
Absolutely.
So,
And what I don't like about it is because I think if it's all digital, when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
paying taxes at the end of the year, you have to go to your capital of your county, your main court, or and pay taxes.
Uh-huh.
Well, if it's digital, they can just take it right out. They can
Right.
take out everything without even, pretty much asking you. And
Yeah.
plus, what's backing that invisible digital money?
Uh-huh.
Like they say, if you don't own it, you don't hold it, right? If you
Right.
don't hold it, you don't own it.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So,
Now, look at
um,
that, guys. Silver Heist signs his stickers. I did
there
not
you
know
go.
that.
Yeah,
I
there you
thought they
go.
were all made, but they're all different. That's pretty cool. It's the only guy in the community that does that. We all sign the back of our stickers, but his sticker is his handwriting.
There you go. Messy. Some are
That's
some are more
awesome, man.
legible than others. So
That's
I have an
awesome. I
envelope. I'll be
appreciate it.
sending that out to you. I need to find a stamp, but I'm sure there's a stamp lying around here someplace.
Somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Make sure it's one of those $1 million stamps. People collect stamps
Well,
too.
yeah, those are crazy. Yeah. So it was sort of funny because used to be a coin roll hunter, Pam's Coins, that I used to watch a lot. She's great. And I think she did a mail call and someone sent her a letter and it had a stamp on it. And I'm thinking, well, that was a nice letter with a nice coin that someone sent you. But actually, that stamp they sent you was actually kind of nice. It was an Apollo Soyuz stamp from the mid 70s. Russia and US kind of put two rockets together in an orbiting kind of situation. They docked them. And I just remember that from my childhood. Not that I collected stamps, or like, that's kind of like a real stamp. It looks like the guy put it on an envelope and sent it to you, So you never know.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. So what do you stack more? Are you more of a gold stacker, more silver? Do you mix it up?
I mix it up. I really need to do an inventory to see if I'm like 50-50 or a little heavy on something else. I wouldn't necessarily, not at this moment, like, sell a bunch of stuff because I want to buy gold instead. Like, I think if I think I'm a little heavy on silver and I want more gold, then I'll just go into a gold mode for a while. But it's hard to do both, because if you want some gold, but then you keep buying silver, then you get further away from your next gold purchase because silver adds up. So I think the thing about
Absolutely.
gold, it's a little bit more planning because it's a little bit more of a commitment. So if
More
I'm a little
expensive.
spontaneous on silver purchasing, it might put me further away from a gold purchase, but I think I still keep a pretty good balance.
Absolutely. Now, in 2022, with these premiums very high on silver, are you going towards more gold this year versus silver?
I think maybe a little bit more heavily towards gold, or just towards a better premium product. If I'm going to buy silver, then I might go with a 10-ounce bar. I mean, I'm not. I don't think I have. Well, I know I don't have a tube of these new ones. So I did get a few, maybe more than a few, but just a few. But going forward, I think I have one on the way, but I also have a 10-ounce bar on the way. So I think I would. I'm kind of game for bars, and it was sort of funny because some people like the $20 silver barrier. People like, whoa! I don't really want to buy silver. I'm not used to silver being over $20, and it ended up getting over $30 physical silver. So I thought it was kind of a good victory to get silver under $30 physical. And so to do that, you had to go with Britannias instead of Eagles, or go with a bar instead of Eagles or Maples. And so kind of $30 is where I start to think like, well, what do I want to buy physical? So if I can get silver for under 30 physical, I'm kind of game for a while. And
Absolutely.
maybe I'm getting it for 26 or 27. I think there were some 10-ounce bars, a couple of weeks ago I was looking at that were 255, 270, somewhere in that ballpark. So I'm game to accumulate some more ounces, and then and gold too, no doubt. I'm looking to get a little as I can, as much as I can when I can. So
absolutely,
these are 1/10 ounces.
Beautiful. So I love fractional gold. What do you think of fractional gold?
Oh, I'm a fan. The 1 ounce is just a little bit out of my budget, and so I the half ounce is more of something I can plan for and work towards, but that's a very conscious amount for me. And so 1 is a little big. Occasionally I might have an opportunistic bonus or something that I can put into a bigger piece of gold, but I think a half ounce or a 1/10 ounce is sort of more in my my plans.
That's your sweet spot, the half ounce and the 1/10.
Yeah, half ounces if I'm doing the best I can for premium and earmarking a good chunk of money towards gold, and 1/10 is still a conscious purchase, something to plan for, but I'd do it just because I can do it more regularly. So
absolutely.
So I think the 1/10 is a good size. Some people draw the line at the 1/4 ounce, and I understand that and stuff, but I think the 1/10 is still a doable size, worthwhile accumulating. It adds up.
Absolutely, and that's the way I look at it. Is that when it comes to buying gold, for me, I'm big on the 1 ounces.
Yeah,
and I love the 1/10 ounce, but I would not go lower than a 1/10. I don't. I stay away from the 1/20th, the grams and stuff, because there's such a high premium. It doesn't make sense to me. But I think the 1/10 and the ounce are by far my favorite sizes to stack. And you actually put a video out on which out of the 4 sizes sold the most.
Right. And I was surprised until I saw the numbers, because if you listen to YouTube, you get a distorted view of what's popular. You don't know. Just because people are talking about 1/4 ounce gold doesn't mean it's popular. So it makes sense. But I think the thing I didn't anticipate being a fractional gold buyer is how many bloody 1 ounce purchases there are. There's a lot of them. And so I think it's hard for people to understand that until you see the numbers, or you meet people who buy 1 ounce gold coins, and so there are people who can do it. And so a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, maybe I could afford a 1 ounce coin, but I'd never buy it because who will buy it for me? Well, every year it's like one of the 2 most popular size coins. There's always people who can afford it. It's shocking, but it's true.
Yeah, it is. When I seen that video, I thought the most number 1 would be the 1/10. I thought that for sure.
Yeah.
Then I was thinking the 1/4 ounce. Then I was thinking the half ounce, and then the ounce, because the ounce, is $2,000. A lot of people, out the door most of the time, it's about $2,000 today.
Right.
And people don't have that money, especially in these times that we're going through.
Sure.
So I was shocked, when that was number 1, and then the 1/10 was number 2, right?
Right. So it's either in certain kind of dull years, the 1/10 is more popular, but during exciting gold years, the 1 ounce is more popular. So I think there's a certain excitement with gold the last couple of years. Then the 1 ounces just fly out the door. I mean, so people either, I don't want to guess who's buying the 1 ounce gold, but I could kind of guess. I think there's maybe more short term, maybe more investor kind of like I've got money in the bank. I'm not so sure I like it there. I'm going to just go buy 10 coins. Boom. Just buy 10 1-ounce coins, move it from bank A to bullion dealer B, and boom, you got 10 1-ounce coins are gone. So I think some bigger money just starts flowing. So
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of that. And so, those guys will buy your 1-ounce coins, 5 years from now, they'll be around. So.
Absolutely.
So. Yeah. So so the 1/10 is, the next makes sense that it's super popular. And then the quarter and the halves they just fall in the middle. And so my analogy is that it's like Cadillac and Chevy, and Oldsmobile and Buick just gets lost in the middle. Like it's like no one cares about Oldsmobile. It's gone, But Cadillacs, there's a lot of people who want Cadillacs, and then there's a lot of people who want Chevys, and the middle prices just don't. They fit, but they don't fit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
I think the quarter ounce was actually the less popular.
Yeah, they're both similarly pretty low. I forget if the half ounce was like the least and the quarter was like just a smidgen above it. But yeah, they're significantly lower in popularity than the 1/10, significantly. And so considering not how many people, but some people draw the line and say, I wouldn't want to get involved with 1 10-ounce coins. But like a million people can't be wrong. You know what I mean? There's all those buyers every year. So it's super popular.
Absolutely. So. Absolutely. Now, when you buy gold, what is what do you lean towards? You more coins, bars, and if you are in coins, which coins do you like? The Eagles, the Maples?
Yeah. I'm almost all Eagle.
Eagle. Absolutely.
I'm all Eagle. I have kookaburras. So the 1/10 kookaburra is just a cool coin.
That's a hot coin.
Yeah.
That's
so
very,
I
like how they
into
changed the
that.
design.
Yeah, so I lucked into that. So I have 2 years of that, and I think there's a third year just came out just recently. So I haven't bought one yet, but I would keep that going. I have a little bit of maple, but I'm really more about the Eagles. So I think I learned maybe quickly. I do have I kind of committed to a collectible coin that's in gold that I think I just learned that maybe collecting gold isn't really what I should be doing, but I have it, so I'm happy I have it. But I think I'd rather have bullion.
Absolutely.
And so Eagles, just to me, Eagles are kind of like, starting slow with $50 and something simple like US old silver was like a simple starting point. And to me, the Eagles, even though they cost more, it's just a simple starting point. And I'm probably not as simple as I ought to be, but I think I just try to keep it simpler. I could have easily fallen in love with old European coins or 1920 something pre-33 US coins, but then I'm not sure. Then it kind of blurs the line between whether it's a collectible coin or gold coin, and I kind of wanted to just not blur the line and just keep it more about the gold. So
yeah. What do you think of pre-33 gold?
Well, I think it's nice. I think the problem I have with it is just, I don't know what a clean coin looks like. I don't know, whether a 1918D is a big deal or a 1922 is a big deal. So, I just don't know the key dates.
Absolutely.
I like the buffalo. Not the buffalo. I like the Indian head in the $2.55 piece. I think that's a really cool coin. I wouldn't mind having it. And so I like them. So I like the history and I like them. I'm just not sure, I'm already, I'm already kind of paying premiums on Eagles, and I just don't know, like, I'm not sure what the appropriate premium on an old gold coin is or isn't. So I guess just because I don't know, I'd be cautious to go into it.
I agree with you 100%. When it comes to buying pre-33 from me, I don't buy it for collecting. I buy it for stacking.
Yeah.
So I stay away from certain, like, for example, you have the Indian head, you have the Liberty head. The Indian head on the $2.50 piece is cheaper than the Liberty on the $2.50 piece. Now, when it comes to the $5 and $10, the Indian is way more expensive than the Liberty.
Really?
And then you get up to your $20 pieces, and you have the St. Gaudens and the Liberty. Liberty is a tad cheaper than the St. Gaudens.
Okay.
The St. Gaudens has a little higher premium, but they're about equal.
Okay.
And I don't buy them slabbed. I buy them, in their little
raw
flips,
or in their little cardboard flip.
Cardboard flips. And when I do buy them, I don't buy clean, graded, jewelry graded. I don't buy them slabbed, but they have to be in AU or BU condition.
Okay.
And I buy them for, the stack. Like, for example,
where do you get them?
This is just
locally
under my LCS. I go
cool.
Or on AppMex. They have them, the St. Gaudens right now for, I think, $2,075.
Okay.
Now, yes, there's a premium on this. You know what I mean? This is practically an ounce of gold. It's not really. It's just under an ounce of gold. Very, very little under an ounce of gold. But so it has a higher premium because you figure an ounce of gold right now is about $1,900.
Yeah.
You're paying about $2,100 for this.
Right.
It's just under an ounce.
Right.
But I could always I could sell this for probably $2,300.
Yeah.
So I look at the $20 St. Gaudens and the Liberty as a good way to stack. Or if you buy like a $2.50 Indian or a $5 Liberty, those are also good coins for stacking. But like the Indian, the Liberty $2.50, or the Indian $5, the Indian $10, very, very high premiums, and they're more for collecting, in my opinion. But you also, like you said, with key dates, yes, this right here, this is an MS62.
Wow.
1924 St. Gaudens. This is the second year most minted. The most minted year was in 1927 or 28. This was second most minted, so it's not as rare as the rest of them. So they can sell it more as a bullion coin versus a collector coin. So you just need to know what to look for when it comes to buying pre-33 for stacking reasons versus collecting, because there are St. Gaudens out there that are $6,000, $7,000, $10,000.
Well, I know.
You know what I mean?
It's crazy, right? Yeah.
But I love it because it's history, and it's just they're beautiful gold coins.
Sure.
And, they took the design off the St. Gaudens for the eagle, and I look at it. That must be a reason to take it off a American $20 gold piece and put it on the most reputable gold coin to man.
Yeah, that's great.
Very
cool.
Yeah, it's. I like pre-33. I think the beauty of it too is because they don't make it anymore. It's kind of like a constitutional silver. They just don't make it anymore. So it's, it's more rare, and when 100 years from now there might not be any left.
Great. Yeah, very cool.
Absolutely.
Good stuff.
So, when you buy silver,
are
you more silver coins, silver bars?
I mean,
silver
I'm a
rounds?
blend. Government bullion coins. So I mean, I've gone from eagles to maples, and then I've gone to Britannias because of the eagle premiums, but then it's like, well, if I'm going to pay premiums, then I'll just pay premiums for Libertad, and so like I consciously pay for premiums for something that might be a little more collectible. So bullion coins, and then bars, and some constitutional. For a while, that was maybe more, but I haven't added much constitutional lately because of the local places that I used to buy from. Certainly 2020, like a lot of things were closed. So, so and I think the premiums on constitutional just got sort of silly. And so like, maybe others were like, well, I don't want to pay for silver that's more than $20 an ounce. And maybe I had something in my head like, well, I can't pay this for constitutional silver, or not this much above premium for spot for constitutional silver. So I may have gotten something in my head that, yeah, I like constitutional silver, but I want it to be cheap, or I want it to be cheap above spot. So, so I haven't added as much of that lately. Very little in the last 18 months of that. I probably bought more bars. Last year, I think there was a good chunk of bars that I bought, and gold. So the Britannia just has so many different sizes. You can get anything from 100 gram to 1,000 grams, basically a kilogram. So they have like 5-6 different sizes of silver from one end to the other. So I think you just sort of fit that to your budget. And pretty much, I think, I'm not sure exactly, but I think at least when I did a snapshot at one point that, this is 3.2 ounces of little bar and 3 ounces of maple leaves. I think this was probably less than this at one point when I started to buy those. Things are changing. Maybe the premiums are getting tighter or better. Time will tell. I think we're moving almost in a better direction, but it's not.
I hope so.
It's not the old days. So
absolutely, constitutional is used to be the cheapest silver you can buy.
Yeah,
I remember buying it for practically spot, just a little over.
Right.
And now it's just it's crazy. You right now the constitutional an ounce right now is practically about what you're paying for generic, or sometimes
I think maybe even higher.
a coin. Yeah, it's about figure anywhere from now. It's about
not a Silver Eagle price, but it's up there.
It's up there. It's probably about a maple or a Britannia price. And when you think of it, it's crazy. Yes, they don't make it anymore.
Right.
It's not gonna. It's maybe in a couple hundred years, and maybe there won't be any left. You never know.
I mean, that was kind of the fun part of it. Was like, oh, you could get a Benjamin, or they don't make it anymore. That was sort of like the fun bonus part of it. But it was the cheap
key dates.
And key dates. Yeah, I mean, I've seen videos of guys who, just buying silver on the cheap and budget and getting a roll of dimes, but they either rifled through the thing, and the guy, like my LCS, he's like, oh, I get a roll of dimes. He's like, and actually, I think it was the assistant to the LCS guy. He's like, well, don't kill me. My boss will kill me. Like, you can, take like 10 mercuries, but don't take 50. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, well, I'll take 10. And I didn't like super cherry pick the 10 that I got, but you could end up with like the key date mercury out of some guy's bucket.
I found a 1916D.
There you go.
And I sold it for like $900.
No way. That's crazy. Yeah. And where did you find it? In a bucket? In a roll?
At my LCS.
Really?
Yeah, a couple of years ago, and I sold it, and then I went back. I didn't want to tell him because I don't want.
Well, yeah.
In the beginning, I was
Did
you
tell him
new to
eventually?
it at the time. Yeah.
Does he know? Does he know?
Yeah, he knows now.
Did you give him a Christmas gift or something?
He said he's like, yo, I'm happy for you. He said, I'm surprised I never caught that. But
well, yeah,
I took that.
I'm not sure they can rifle through it. Those dimes are so little.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to see the dates.
Yeah, and there are LCSs that don't search their constitutional; they just dump it in, and then there's LCSs that do search. Matter of fact, I don't know if you follow Savage Stacker.
Yeah.
He put a video about 90%, and LCSs that search it and don't search it. It
Okay.
depends.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can get if I love getting constitutional. It's just now the prices are expensive, but when you think of it,
Right. Yeah.
out the door day, if you can find an ounce of silver for under $30 out the door, you did good. And that's how I look at it, because the premiums are high. Even your
Right.
bars, you're spending about $28 to $30 an ounce nowadays. It's
Right.
unless you're buying 100-ounce bars.
No.
But
Not.
it's
Yeah. I haven't gone that
it's
big.
no, I don't want to go that big either,
I mean,
because
it'd be nice, but I haven't. I mean, never
the
say
problem is,
never. Never say never.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
it might be like a fun one-time thing. I mean, some of the old timers you see, I mean, maybe you can roll stuff up to a bigger thing, or if you just bought one huge thing like every couple of few years. Well, by the time you're an old timer, you'll have like 5 of these things on the table, and people are like, how the heck did you ever get that? So if you're at the game long enough, you can get some nice things, So time is your friend.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, we had Vacation Time 247. He said, "What do you consider cheap for high X phase value for constitutional right now?" Think 18 to 20 phase. X phase is cheap. 24 plus phase is high. I agree. It's very, very seldom do you find 90% silver under 20 right now. I have come across deals for 18, 19 phase.
Okay,
But
yeah.
usually it's anywhere from 20 to 24 phase now. Like you were saying, it's you're selling, if you were to buy an ounce of gold, an ounce of 90% is pretty much equivalent to your maples.
Right. No, it's
So
crazy. I mean, I'm not positive. Maybe I'm deluding myself, but like, did I pay $11 or $12 like 3 or 4 years ago? I think I might have.
yeah, it was cheap then, and that's why we
Yeah.
bought it.
It
And
might have been like
it was just
$1.20. I might have gone in with like $100 bill and like a couple other bills, and boom, I'd have a $10 roll of something. And it's like, do I want to pay 125? Maybe instead of 118. It's like, yeah, it's crazy. So, to me, it was like cheap ounces and with maybe a potential that there could be something cool inside the roll. You never know until you look. So,
absolutely. And speaking of getting decent silver for your buck,
there you go.
you're a big fan of Germanium mint bars.
Yeah, what size
And
is that?
this is a 10 ouncer.
Great.
And I think these are outstanding.
They are.
They're cheap. Like
I
if
don't
you go on
understand
Hero Bullion,
why.
right?
They're beautiful.
I don't understand either, because first of all, you got the detail. Germanium mint is a very reputable company, especially their
Right.
rounds. Their rounds sell for
Sure.
high premiums.
I
High
know.
premiums.
Right.
Not only that, this is 4 nines silver.
That's awesome.
Most of your bars and coins are 3 nines. They're selling for more than these. You would think these would be $300 a bar, but
It's
they're not.
crazy.
You can get
I
these
know.
for $260. They're cheap.
I know. It's great. I mean, because the reputation is with their fancy coins, which I actually haven't bought. I like to collect certain things, but you open the door to a collection that there's a lot on the other side of that door. So I haven't really opened the door to Germania rounds. I know
Me
what they
neither.
are. They're beautiful. But if they want that brand, I mean, I get that brand for, a bullion price with the bars. So to me, this is like a Geiger bar. Is that the brand? Geiger? Geiger is like a beautiful
Yep.
German thing, and they're high end and they're niche, and people love them. And to me, this is like that, but maybe without
Absolutely.
without the reputation yet. So I don't know if they could catch on, or whether that just be like a nice little cash cow for them. Nice bullion cash cow while they crank out the high end coins. It's sort of like selling 2 different things. But yeah, I mean, I hope they keep doing it, because to me,
Absolutely.
it's awesome.
I think Germanium mint is in a few years, maybe 10, 20 years,
Uh-huh.
they're going to be very high premium. They're going to be expensive. Like, I'm pretty sure in those years I could probably sell this for, way over. And
Well, yeah,
with
I'm
a
not
good
sure how
premium.
they do it, but maybe the B represents like, the first year. You know what I mean? Like there's a whole
Absolutely.
cryptic, number scheme to the Engelhard bars if you know how to
Yeah,
go on a
absolutely.
website and look at stuff. So, to me, 10, 20 years from now, people will be looking at these germanium mint bars and they're like, oh, you have a B.
Yeah,
So you
absolutely.
never
And have
know.
a website like Engelhart. Well, look at, like you said, Engelhart. They, when they started off, they were just regular silver bars, silver, rounds, whatever. Now
Yeah.
they are, most reputable name in the silver business, and silver and gold, and their stuff sell for crazy, crazy
Yeah.
premiums. And
Right.
that's like the Scottsdale bars now.
Oh God. Yeah.
Scottsdale Mint. They're
Sure.
getting up there now too.
Yeah. No, they're
They're
beautiful products. I actually don't have specific Scottsdale, but these First Majestic ones are actually made at Scottsdale. So
First Majestic. They don't make that company don't make to the public anymore, right?
no, they have a bullion website, First Majestic
They still.
Silver. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is a mining company, and they
Yep.
pay. So they're pulling out, silver out of the ground in Mexico, and then they send the silver to Scottsdale Mint or the other mint. I forget what they're called. Scottsdale does the bars, and then the rounds are Sunshine Mint. So they send the raw silver to those guys, or the raw
Oh
99.
wow.
They probably send them 1,000-ounce bars, and then those guys turn them into rounds and bars for them. And
Wow. Very interesting.
yeah, so Scottsdale makes great stuff.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Beautiful.
And I noticed
Yeah.
I noticed a lot of companies send their stuff to Scottsdale. Like you have the Academy bars, you have the
Okay.
Patriots stackable bars, and they're
Yeah.
or the Wall Street Mint, for example. It has their logo on it, but it's a different mint. You know what I
Sure.
mean? So they're
Yeah.
definitely reputable, and they're another high premium silver now, which used to be cheap.
Right.
But
Yeah.
we have a couple of comments in the chat here. Silver
Great.
Heist, Savage Stacker, 2019. I was paying 11 phase.
There
Boy,
you go.
times have changed. For he
Isn't
was
it
paying 11
crazy?
phase for, yeah. And then
Yeah.
we have Don't Ask. A couple years
Okay.
ago, all dealers had free shipping at $99, and a
True.
roll of quarters wasn't even enough to qualify for free shipping.
Oh my gosh. I know, it's crazy. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, there was a time where I was trying to get the thing over the $99. So it's like, all right, well, if I get a roll of dimes, how much is that? And all right, let me throw a maple on top of that, and well, maybe I'll throw a Canadian dollar on top of that.
Yeah.
And then get it up to like $103 and then pull the trigger. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
you just sort
Absolutely.
of, you get something and you just add something else, and then you add the smaller piece and the smaller piece until you hit the trigger. Now it's more like $199, I think, at a lot of
Yeah.
dealers.
Yeah. 199. Yep. That's the threshold in order to meet for free shipping.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
that's
We
the
have
new thing.
Vacation Time, 247.
Uh-huh.
Do you think paying a little more for 20 Maples, American Silver Eagles, or Britannias, or Philharmonics is worth it over than buying a couple 10-ounce bars?
I'm kind of into the bars right now. It's certainly over Silver Eagles and Maples right now.
And it's
But I
cheaper.
think it all depends on where you stand. Like if you think you have enough tubes of stuff, so I wouldn't necessarily want everything 10 ounces and bigger. I'd want some 1-ounce sizes. But so I think you have to figure out what kind of blend you want. So it's kind of like my choice of like, well, do I need gold or silver next? At some point it's like, do I want 10-ounce bars next, or more like 1-ounce coins next?
Absolutely.
Where do you think you stand? And so, but for the time being, for the foreseeable future, I'd probably go with bars. I mean, and maybe I'd get a Britannia coin. Might be kind of nice for 1-ounce size, just for the premium, or an alternative. But yeah, so I'm kind of pro bars right now.
I agree with you. I think bars, especially now with the premiums being so high, I'm sticking to silver bars because it's especially the 10 ounces. That's pretty
Yeah,
much my
it's a good
sweet spot. I
size.
love my 10 ounces. They're
Yeah.
easy to move. They don't take up much space, and you're saving money versus a 1 ounce or a 5 ouncer.
I mean,
But
last summer, they were going for a pretty penny, like
oh yeah,
crazy. I mean,
oh
because you
yeah,
couldn't find them. And if you did find them, they'd disappear quickly. And if you went to eBay, you way overpaid.
yep,
So
yep,
like if
absolutely.
you ever wanted to sell a Royal Canadian Mint 10 ounce,
Good money right there.
there'd be people looking for them, you know,
Absolutely,
you know.
absolutely.
And it's
Yeah,
not
no,
so expensive that you wouldn't want to do a deal for it, you know. Um, so it's an affordable big buy for many people. So there's a lot of buyers, in my opinion. Maybe
yep,
not everybody, but there's a lot who'd be willing to do it.
absolutely.
So it's a good size.
Oh yeah, and it's cheaper versus your rounds. Like, don't get me wrong, you can maybe
Sure.
sell your American Silver Eagles, your Maples
Right.
for a little. You get some of that premium back,
Right.
but at the same time, you got to think of it. You got bars like Germanium Mint, Royal Canadian Mint, Englehards,
Yeah.
Scottsdales that
Yeah.
have good premiums that you get back just if you were to sell your American Silver Eagles or your Maples. They're
I
very
think
sought
so.
after bars, and
I think
yeah,
so.
absolutely.
I mean,
And
the trouble,
I
I
love
just don't have
bars.
the imagination right now to see when do I get a chance to reload on some Silver Eagles, except for
Oh
in
yeah.
small here and there. Like, you know,
Yep.
when Constitutional was $11 face, well, that probably would have been just as a good a time to get Silver Eagles too. That was a time to load up. Now I just don't know how to do it. But if I saw a window, there was a window last September. I could have got Silver Eagles for $28. So,
Oh wow.
and I think I bought 4 or something. And but I could have got 2021 Type 2s. I swear it was like $28 at Monument
Wow.
Metals, but I think I got something else instead.
Hmm.
But that was a tight window. And then
Oh yeah.
they went right back up to 31, 32, 35, whatever.
Yep.
So, I mean, if I saw them for under 30, I'd probably be pretty excited. It's close, you know.
Absolutely.
So,
Like I stopped buying Eagles this year.
uh-huh.
I'll buy a few of them. I'll buy one or two just to
Sure.
have them for the
Yeah.
year. That's
Yeah.
that's understandable. I don't care what anyone says. All of us stackers have a little collective part of us. We all like to collect something or
Yeah.
treat ourselves with high premium stuff here and there.
Yeah.
It's just normal. But I just can't bring myself to spend $700 on a tube of 2022
Right.
Eagles.
Sure.
I don't see it. It's not smart. I can buy a 20-ounce silver bar or 2 10-ounces for
Right.
5 and change.
Right.
I mean,
Exactly.
it doesn't make sense. Yes, I could sell them and get a little bit more, but
Sure.
it's just like selling a car. You're never going to get what you paid for it.
Right.
Unless the price goes up.
Right.
Unless the spot goes up and the premiums go up more. But or you hold
Yeah.
it.
Sure.
But yeah, just the Eagles aren't smart. So I'm doing my bars and rounds this year
Great.
and low premium government mint bullions like your Maples. Still have a high premium, but they're a lot cheaper than your Eagles.
Yeah.
Your Britannias, your Krugerrands,
Yeah.
your Kangaroos. You know what I mean? So there are cheaper alternatives, but
You know where these are
at the
made?
same time, Royal Canadian Mint.
But so yeah, so this is probably made about a quarter mile from where the trucks are parked.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any thoughts on the Canadian Freedom Convoy protest?
Is that a
Now, I
comment
haven't
in
been
the thing?
Yes,
Okay, great. Who's it from?
it's from Julius Caesar.
Okay.
Sayers or something.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't really paid attention to it. I haven't
Right.
really I've heard of it. I've heard what
Yeah.
was going on, but enlighten me. What's going on up there?
Well, I totally support them. And so it total peaceful protest, total principled protest against over regulation. And so
Oh, yeah, I support them too. Then.
so I mean the Canadian truckers may have their vaccines or they may not. A lot of them do, but they were told that if they crossed the border into the U.S. and they tried to come back, it maybe if they failed a test, a sickness test, they may have to quarantine and stay off the road for a couple of weeks. So it's just too many rules. It's like, so I mean, it was like their livelihood. Like, so I mean, I think there was a couple of layers of rules. Some of the rules may have been, you have to have your medicine, but then the other rules could be, well, if you test positive, you have to not drive for 2 weeks. But then and I don't know if it goes this bad, but like, well, what if one of your coworkers got sick? Are you supposed to also like stay off the road for 2 weeks? So it just gets, I think they just had enough. They want to move on.
Absolutely.
And so they just they just park their truck in front of Parliament. They're not causing trouble, except for they're honking their horns at 10 o'clock at night. It didn't make the people who live in the high-rise condos happy, but they're not destroying anything. So
absolutely.
But then the other thing they did is that some others impeded traffic on a very busy bridge that takes car parts from Canada to Detroit. And so that does not please certain people. So that they may have snuffed out that protest, but the one in front of Parliament is ongoing. So so God love them.
Absolutely. Hey, I'll catch you later, Darth Stacker. But I agree. I think what's going on, not just in Canada and in our country, across the world, is these mandates forcing people to vaccinate, these forcing people to stay home
medicine
and not do this and take everything, and you got to look at it this way. First of all, this government, not just our country, across the world, they put us in this inflation. They put us in these supply shortages, and they're just making it worse. Truckers run this world. They run our country. They run Canada. They run everything. Without them, we would not get our supplies. We will not get our food. And they not only have to do the right thing for our truckers that feed us and supply us. They got to do the right thing for, every business owner, small business owner, citizen. And what they're doing is ridiculous. It's a dictatorship, in my opinion. Scare tactics and
name calling,
and
they're
ruining us.
Scare tactics, all of the above. So I think it's about time to get back to normal. Ratchet down the scare tactics. Your neighbor is not a threat to your health. You can be social. So I think it's time we got out and about. So
yeah, and live.
Yeah,
and live. I'm a business owner. I do wood flooring for a living. And when this whole COVID started, we were all scared. We were all nervous. We didn't know what it was. I understand that. And what we did in the beginning was the right thing to do. We closed down everything. We understood until we knew. But after 3 months of it, we got a good understanding, and pretty much, knew what can happen and blah blah blah. But I knew the minute they kept these lockdowns going, and it was going to affect us. And then the whole unemployment thing, giving money out, and these stimulus plans and all that. And we're in a situation now that we are it's going to be hard to get out of. Very,
Right.
very hard to get out of. And we just hope that everything stays intact when we do get out of it, because
Right.
there's a lot of crazy things going on. And matter of fact, we got a question here from Dutch Silver Pilot. It's from
Okay.
me, but I want to get your thoughts on it first.
That's okay.
He says, "You think the price will rise if they start a war in Ukraine
Price of
for
gold or
gold and
silver.
silver?" Mm-hmm.
I think potentially short term it has in the past. Anytime there were missiles flying in the Middle East, silver would go up or gold would go up, and so it could be a 1 week thing, unless it's an ongoing thing. I mean, so if someone pops off a couple of missiles, I think prices will go up. But if it's just if someone says, "Oh, that was just one missile," there's not more. You know what I mean? Like, it all depends if it's an ongoing thing or not. And then it's an ongoing, and then it depends if that means oil doesn't flow from one place to another. Then, so I think it'll have as much about. So it depends. It depends on how out of control it gets. So
Absolutely.
So hopefully,
I agree with you.
Hopefully not out of control. So we'll see. But yeah, there could be uncertainty surrounding things for the next, whatever, week, month, who knows. So
Absolutely.
People are on kind of edge.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the same. I think it depends. Usually anything that happens in our economy, our market, wars, threats, usually always affects the market. Stocks, gold and silver.
Yeah.
It's kind of the market is like any scare tactic or anything that just a threat affects it. And
I mean, I don't remember specifically, but there was a period of time when North Korea was launching missiles into the Sea of Japan, or just sending them 10 miles or 100 miles or 500 miles, whatever they were doing. It was provocative enough that people paid attention. And I don't remember if those were the things that triggered some price movements, but I certainly remember there was, a plane was shot down over Iran or something, anything like that. Like, that's going to make things happen, So
absolutely.
So hard to predict. So totally unpredictable. So it's like it's out of my control. Hopefully people of goodwill are thinking things through.
Yeah, hopefully we won't get into World War III.
So no, I think not. So
and we got
I'm optimistic.
Yeah, absolutely. We have another question.
Great.
From Vacation Time 247. Think the Federal Reserve will raise rates at their emergency meeting tomorrow?
I think I read stuff like Friday into Saturday that they were thinking of an emergency meeting. Maybe there was even something saying that they might have had an emergency meeting on Friday. But I guess if they're locked into an emergency meeting on Monday, I mean, I guess anything could happen. People keep being optimistic that inflation is going to turn, but it's like a battleship. There's too much momentum. You can't turn a big ship around quickly. So, last month, biggest inflation year over year in 40 years, so when you have inflation 7% from January to January, and then the next, or December to December, and then it's like, so 7%. Then the next one is 7.5%. So maybe the ship is about to turn to port, but takes a while. We could coast another few months in the wrong direction, even if the captain is furiously telling them to, whatever. I'm not a ship person, so full, full rudder, stern, right, whatever. So
whatever it is,
you can't change direction. We're moving too fast in the wrong direction. It's going to keep going.
Absolutely.
And then then there'll be an inflection point, and it'll turn. But it's not moving yet. So they're like, well, yeah, what did you expect? Did you think it was going to move? So then they need to do something visible for people to see that it could move. You know what I mean? So like they haven't taken enough action to change the course of the ship. That's the deal. So they may have to do something like that sooner rather than later. We're moving in the wrong direction. So
yeah, you're absolutely right. And matter of fact, Julius Caesar just commented. He said, "Good topic for a video: wars versus spot prices."
Oh gosh. Well, yeah.
You're gonna give Silver Heist some ideas.
Well, yeah. I think it's been covered. You can find them with Yankee stacking or Empire Precious Metal.
Yeah.
I think Yankees covered it. Yeah, and Sal. So the people that cover stuff. I mean, there's a lot of overlap, and so and news changes all the time. But people talk about it, and some people have already covered it and done a great job. But it's an ongoing story, so there'll be more.
Absolutely.
There's never a shortage of news. So.
Oh no, absolutely. Especially Sal. He posts, I think, like 3 videos a day, giving us.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah. He does. He must do so much reading and so much, searching for things in order to do that, because it's on time, on the clock, every day,
Occasionally, I do a news story, but it's sort of like read 40 news stories to do one in a video. You know what I mean? Or at least read 10. Read 10 to think, wow, that's a good story. I have to cover that story. That's so good. But then it could be like, I don't have time today. That's a damn good story, but I don't have time to turn this around. And in 48 hours, is it going to be a story? I think so. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
So he's on it. So much respect for what he does.
Oh yeah, he's an extremely smart guy too.
Yeah,
he knows a lot, and I get a lot of information from him.
Oh no, he's one of my favorites.
And it's hard to keep up because
because there's so much.
Yeah.
So you can't watch 10 out of 10, but you can put a good dent in those 10. You know what I mean? And what Sal puts out. I probably watch a lot. Probably more than 5 or 7 out of every 10 he does. I think it's that good.
So, oh yeah, absolutely. And Yankee, he's he gives out a lot of good information too, good pointers and stuff. Another great channel.
Yeah, he puts a lot of thought into what he does. He's well prepared. So actually, here's a funny story. The people who I've been interviewed by include Yankee Stacking, Spectacular, Salivate Metal, and Patriotic Stacker.
Oh, wow.
So how's that?
That's awesome. I'm on the list.
You've made it.
That's awesome.
So
wow.
And I hope I haven't left someone out, but I'm not a guest of too many people. I hope I didn't leave anyone. Oh, and Empire Precious Metals. So
hey, and I'm unique out of all those guys that gave you an interview. I'm the guy that has the way less subscribers.
Right. No, that's great. And I'm Talking Bullion. I think I talked to Talking Bullion. So
Talking Bullion. Never. I don't think I've seen his channel.
He came on board around the same time Yankee and I, or he may even been a little bit before Yankee. So I think he's been a little less visible lately. But he had a live stream and content. So he was a big constitutional guy and a good bargain hunter. So he's a great bargain hunter, and he's all over Craigslist, Let Go, that type of stuff. He loves getting a good deal. So he was good, and it is good. So yeah, so very handful of people who have done and been a guest on. So I appreciate this, and you will be getting a sticker out of the deal.
Awesome. So, I appreciate it. Silver Heist.
Yeah.
Just one last question before I know it's Super Bowl Sunday. We want to, I don't want to keep you long here. And
no, this has been fun.
What made you start YouTube?
Yeah. So the YouTube, I was stacking silver for a while, maybe a good half a year, but I thought it would be fun to document the coin roll hunts. And so I really started making coin roll hunting videos of $50 and pennies. And then,
Oh wow.
but then I'm like, you know what? I should tell people that I have constitutional silver, and do I like dimes or quarters or $50? So then I started to fold in some of that content too. And then just got into more and more purchasing of silver and gold. So it kind of started with coin roll hunting, and then it went from there. So it's funny, like there's people. The funny thing is, probably by the time I started making videos, a couple of my favorite coin roll hunting guys weren't even making videos anymore. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
it's like you could watch something and then YouTube just like puts it in front of you again. And then let me show you this guy's fourth video, and so like, then you actually realize like, this guy isn't even around anymore, but I'm watching his videos. So, so it's funny. So there were some. So yeah, so YouTube people come and go.
Absolutely.
In anything that happens, people's lives change. So, but yeah, so, and people sell their silver to pay off their truck payment, to pay off their car. So it's not a sin to like sell your silver.
No, it's there if you need it in emergencies. I do recommend people to save at least 3 to 6 months of cash, God forbid. But
Yeah,
if you need to sell your gold and silver, listen, you can always get more of it.
right.
If something were to happen, medical bills or your kids or your
Right.
house, you need to make
Sure.
sure you have a roof over your head
Yeah.
and stuff. And if you have debt, you don't want to be sitting there and buying gold and silver. Make sure play your cards right. It's pretty
Right.
simple.
I think so. So
Absolutely.
I think we can. Sometimes people need space, and maybe your favorite YouTuber isn't, well, one of your top YouTubers may not be around right now, but they may come back, or may they come back in a different capacity and be a fan instead of a producer. So
Absolutely.
there's plenty of room for people to find their voice and space to be part of the group. And it's possible to just disappear from YouTube and keep stacking. You know what I mean? It happens.
Absolutely.
So, but it's fun. So I enjoy it. And this has been a fun experience. Appreciate you inviting me.
Listen, thank you so much, Silver Heist, for coming on. It was great talking with you. And
Great.
I'd like to do this again, in the near future.
Sounds
You're
cool.
always welcome to the channel.
Great.
And thanks
All
again.
right.
Stay safe and keep on making videos, man. We love your
Thank you.
stuff.
Same to you. Keep looking for those good deals.
That's it. That's
All
it.
right. Take it easy.
All right, Silver Heist.
All right. See ya.
See you
Thanks.
later, man.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, guys. That was our interview with Silver Heist. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Another great guy in the community. I'm honored to be able to interview him. Just another great guy to add to the interview. And got a couple more interviews coming up soon. I don't want to give out too much information and tell you who it is. But God forbid if they back out or something because of time or that day's not going to work for them. I want to tell you guys already and be excited for the interview, and then it's canceled due to whatever reason. But next weekend there is an interview with another great and huge channel in the community. And maybe around sometime this week, you guys will know who it will be. And Julius Caesar, no, it's not a mining company. It's not a CEO to a mining company. I have no interest in interviewing a mining company or whatever. I'm not going to do that even if they paid me. It's just not how I roll. I will interview people, guys, YouTube channels, stackers, people in the community. I will interview LCSs, maybe inventors for, I would like to interview the guy that created the Sigma Metal Verifier. I would like to interview him, but yeah, no, I don't. I'm not, or maybe I would love to interview CEOs of the JM Bullion or APMEX or places like that. That'd be really cool. But no interest in mining companies. My way of looking at it, you don't own it, you don't hold it, you don't own it. So and we all know gold and silver is not. It's a long-term investment. It's not really like a quick money investment. So why would I buy a mining stock? It just doesn't pay, in my opinion. If I want to buy stocks, I'm buying companies that I know that's going to make me money. I had 4 properties throughout my life, and it is a great asset to have. Now I have stacked gold and the profits to protect against inflation and possibly weak fiat currency. Absolutely, Lewis. That's what I tell people. The best investment is properties, land, houses, real estate. That's your best investment when it comes to making money. And when you make your money and you have assets, you want to have something to back those assets, something to protect those assets, so a way to save. And buying gold and silver, physical gold and silver, is the way to protect your assets, your earnings, your wealth. And it's a long-term, very conservative investment. It's not going to make you a millionaire, but it will protect your money, and it will keep you to be that millionaire or whatever you make. It would keep you, safe. It's insurance. But like we said towards the end of the stream here, make sure you're debt free. It's the most important thing. Make sure your debt's paid off. I'm not talking about your mortgage. Everyone has a mortgage. That's understandable. That's not a major debt, but your credit cards, things that you finance and stuff. Make sure it's paid off. You don't want to have to pay any more extra than you already do. You want to make sure your family's fed, your bills are paid, and then you can worry about saving and investing. But yeah, it comes to a time that some people have to sell their gold and silver, and you don't want to have to do that. So you want to have emergency funds, at least 3 to 6 months cash sitting in your safe somewhere or in your shoebox under your bed for emergencies. So you don't have to do that. But if you had to sell your gold and silver, hey, it's helping out. It's doing what it's supposed to do. You can always buy more, but I recommend have no debt. Make sure everything's paid off. Have emergency funds at your bank or at your home, and just be smart and play your cards right. I stacked silver too, and that's how I started before graduating to gold. Yeah, absolutely, man. I started stacking silver first as well, and I will stack silver to the day I die. But I got into gold a little later. Been stacking silver for 9 years, so gold maybe 8 years. The first year I was pretty much just buying silver. I will say through that mining stocks have all gone way up. Yeah, I don't really pay attention to the mining stocks. Silver is fractional gold. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Silver is great to have, and it's more affordable for people, everyday people, to have and own. Absolutely. But all right, guys, I'm going to end the stream today. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview with Silver Heist, another great guy in the community. And stay tuned. There'll be more interviews to come. I'll see you later. Don't ask. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Louis Perna. Thank you, Julius. Dutch Shoulder Pirate. Joe James. Vacation Time. Savage Stacker. Polybuck. Thank you guys for all tuning in. I really appreciate it. And there will be many more interviews to come. All right, guys. I'll catch you on the next one.